Let's talk about some crochet, y'all. Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with y'all today. Okay, so let's jump right in. We are going to be talking about the Summer Breeze Crop 2.0, and it is designed by Designs by Key. So a little bit about this project, and then I'm going to show you all what it looks like on me. So this top is worked bottom up with 2 panels, and it is a free pattern, or you can pay for the PDF without ads. So this calls for a DK weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 31 to 63 inches, and in centimeters that's 71 to 160 centimeters. All right. So this is what it's looking like. It's beautiful. I made the size XL, which was for the 47-inch bust. And in centimeters, that is 119. And so this pattern has 1.5 to 2 inches of positive ease. And in centimeters, that is 3.8 to 5. So a nice range there. And so let's talk about the yarn that I used. I used Sade Stories double knitting, so it's a DK. Each of these little balls is 50 grams, 140 meters, and approximately 153 yards. And this is by West Yorkshire. Beautiful yarn. It says it is a British yarn. Let's see what else. So this is shade number 0825, which is Free Spirit. And what it is a lovely pale lavender color. It kind of looks like it's white, but it's not. It's a beautiful lavender color. So I feel like because I have made a lavender project, I am reaching outside of the box of my purple, because it's a different shade of purple. So look at me. Look at me going outside the box. See, I told y'all I could do it. Okay, so I have more to tell you all about this. All right, I used 5 skeins total, and that is 765 yards, which is 699.5 meters or 200 grams. And that, of course, is for the XL size. So the pattern doesn't list the yardage per size that's needed. However, the range of yardage you will need is between 650 to 800 yards. And in meters, that's 594 to 731.5. So that's something to think about, is just kind of make sure that you have within that range of yarn, and you should be good to go. Now the yarn is amazing. It's soft, it's tightly spun. It's really wonderful to work with. And I actually got it as a part of a D-stash, which is so wonderful. And like I said before, it's this beautiful pale color. This is all that I have left, this little bit. I don't really know what I can do with it, but I'm sure I can find something. So let's talk about the hook size that I used. Well, here's the thing. So I didn't get gauge with the recommended hook size. The recommended hook size is a 5.25 millimeter, which is an I hook. But I used an H hook, which is a 5 millimeter crochet hook. So in terms of the gauge, this is what happened. I got gauge on the H hook because I got 12 stitches per 4 inches with the I hook. But I got 13 stitches per 4 inches with my H hook, which is the recommended gauge, 13 stitches per 4 inches. So that is the gauge, and yeah, it worked out. Sometimes when it comes to gauge, you have to change your hook size. Sometimes you have to go up a hook. Sometimes you have to go down a hook. You just have to be willing to work with it until you find the perfect gauge. Okay, so let's talk about the techniques you will need for this pattern. It includes foundation double crochet, chain, single crochet, double crochet, slip stitch, and then of course your seaming here. It's going to be seaming on the side and on the shoulder. So got to do that. I slip stitch because I'm thinking about the seaming. So I used two different methods. So let's see if I can pull it up here. All right, so for the shoulder seams, I slip stitched this. And I'm going to turn it around so you all can see my slip stitches. That's my slip stitch right there. So that's how I did that. And on the sides, I did a whip stitch. So, there's an end that I did not weave in, and it's so funny because it wasn't until I was on camera that I realized that I did not weave in this end. How embarrassing. But anyway, this is my whip stitch. And so, of course, on the other side, you can't see it. So let me turn this back around. So I did use a couple of different seaming methods. All right, what else do I want to tell y'all? Oh yeah, I made a mistake. Of course, it's two identical panels. And on one of the panels, I'm trying to see which one it was. I think it's this one, yeah. On this panel, I did an extra double crochet row. So I kind of just compensated for that on the other side. So I believe it was on the second panel that I did that. I can't remember. But anyway, my holes, they don't perfectly line up. I'm looking in the viewfinder. I mean, they look good. They look good. But as you can see here, this one is slightly lower than this one. But I feel like while seaming it out, I kind of compensated for it and they lined up really well. Looking at it now on camera, I think they're lined up pretty well. But as you can see, this hole is a little bit lower than this one. So, you know, that's all good. But I really like the way that it turned out. And also I did make some modifications because this top does not look like this originally. I definitely added some things to it. So let's see. I modified the neckline because it was too wide. And I also modified the sleeves because they were too short. I'm a girly with big arms, so I like to kind of have a little bit of a longer sleeve, kind of like what I'm wearing. And in terms of necklines, I like a crew neck like this. So I wanted to modify it. So for the modifications for the neckline, I did add an extra double crochet row. And for the sleeves, I added 4 rows of double crochet. So that's what I did there. And I really, really enjoyed customizing this tee. I think it came out wonderful. I did block it. And basically what I did was I wet blocked it by soaking it in water. And then I towel dried it, and then I threw it in the dryer because it's acrylic and cotton. It's 50% acrylic. Is it 50%? I don't think I told y'all that. It is 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. So I just threw it in the dryer, and yeah, I really love the way it came out. My next project is the Raspberry Beret designed by Little John's Yarn. So I have made a ton of these. This pattern is free on her blog, or you can purchase a paid PDF without ads. And so it calls for bulky weight yarn, but I didn't use bulky weight yarn. I'm going to tell you all the yarn that I used. And basically it comes in one size. for adults. So the yarn, let's see. Yes, I have it here. The yarn that I used is Big Twist yarn. It is 100% acrylic, and it is in the colorway Varsity Blues. And so this was actually some leftover yarn that I had from another project. So, you know, it was a really good scrap leftover yarn. And it is a number 4 medium weight yarn. Each ball or each skein is 180 yards, 6 ounces. 347 meters, 170 grams. So big yarn, big yarn. Big Twist is a wonderful, wonderful yarn. And I'm so happy that Hirschness is going to be picking this yarn up. Very happy. And this is how much I have left. So it's still enough to make another project of some sort. But in terms of the yarn that I use for this, I use half a skein, which is 190 yards. 173.7 meters, 85 grams. So this was only 85 grams, and that's fantastic. And in terms of the hook size that I used a 5mm H hook. And let's talk about the techniques that you'll need for this one. Very simple. Magic ring, chain, slip stitch, single crochet. So simple. Those are very easy things to do. And of course, if you need a YouTube tutorial, there's an abundance of tutorials. All right. A little bit about this hat. It is worked in the round, and it only uses single crochet stitches. That's really awesome. And there is a full YouTube tutorial by Little John Yarns as well. So if you get tripped up at any point with this pattern, with the written pattern, you can go to the YouTube tutorial and check that out as well. And so I did wet block this hat, and I soaked it in water, and then I towel dried it, and I put it in the dryer since it is acrylic. And after I got it out of the dryer, I just kind of laid it on a blocky mat and just, you know, let it take its shape really nicely, and you know, let it kind of finish drying out. But it just turned out beautifully, and I really, really like the fit of this hat. Let's talk about what I'm wearing. This is the Mini Mooner scarf designed by Nicole Michaels. So this beautiful pattern is a scarf, of course, and I like to wear it around my neck, but because the weather is warming up right now, I wear it as a head scarf. And so I made an entire video all about this scarf, and I will link it below. I'll link my Ravelry page below, which has the video link in it as well. Okay, let's talk about the next crochet project that I have finished, and it is another raspberry beret designed by Little John's Yarn. It's beautiful. It's a stunning pink color. And of course, it's the same, you know, for the last one. It's usually made with a bulky weight yarn. I use a worsted weight yarn. It comes in one size, of course, and you can customize it, you know, if you want to. So for this project, I used more scrap yarn. I had some I Love This yarn left over, and I had enough to make a hat. And so I went ahead and did that. And it is 100% acrylic. And yeah, here's the inside. It's a beautiful hat. In terms of the yarn that I used a half a skein, 190 yards, 173.7 meters, 85 grams. So if you have, maybe you just open like 100-gram skein of yarn and you got, you know, quite a bit left, you can definitely make this, or maybe you can pull some scraps together and make a hat. That would be really, really cool. And so as I mentioned before, you only need to know how to do 4 different techniques to make this hat, and that's awesome. Magic ring, slip stitch, chain, and single crochet, and you've got it. Okay, and I blocked this one the same way. I put it in some water and then I towel dried it and I threw it in the dryer because it's acrylic. And then after I had had it in the dryer for a little bit, I put it on a blocking mat and I let it finish drying. So I did not pin this at all. I just placed it on there on the mat and just let it dry, and it turned out fantastic, and I really like wearing this hat. Up next, we have the Sade Placemat. This is beautiful. It is designed by Heidi Heinrich. Y'all know how I am with names, but I do try. Okay. So this is a beautiful lacy placemat. It is a free pattern and it calls for DK weight yarn. And so it comes in one size. Of course, it's customizable. You can, adjust the amount of rows that you make. And so the yarn that I use is my own hand-dyed yarn. This is on the Minnesota DK base, which is discontinued for the moment, but it is 50% cotton and 50% acrylic. And so as you will see here, there's two different colors because I ran out of yarn for this is the orchid color, and I used all that I had. And so then I was down to 2 rows left. I had a single crochet row and a reverse single crochet row to do. And so I had some in the plum colorway. And so that's how I finished it off. Love it, love it, love it. I ended up using 2 hook sizes. I used a 3.5 millimeter, which is an E hook, very tiny. And I also used a 4 millimeter G hook as well. And so in terms of the amount of yarn that I used 69 grams, which is 2.4 ounces, 2.49 ounces, 159 yards. Lord have mercy. When I start reading a bunch of numbers, I just start getting messy. I just start getting sloppy. But anyway, 159 yards, 145.7 meters. Yes. So when I present projects to you all, I like to have all the information that I can. So there it is. And the techniques that are used are the crab stitch, aka reverse single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, slip stitch, chain, and magic ring. And so it is stunning. Let's see, I did go up a hook size. So for the pattern instructions, it mainly asks you to use the E hook. But for the crab stitch, just to make it a little flatter, they mentioned going up 1 or 2 hook sizes. And so I went on Ravelry and I read some of the other project pages, and it looks like a lot of people went up to the G hook. And so that's what I did. And it came out really flat. And so I wanted to tell you all why I made this. I just bought a new pothos plant, which I will share with you all in just a minute. And I wanted something pretty to go underneath it because underneath that, I have more yarn. So that's why I decided to do this. And of course, I wet blocked it. I soaked it in water and then I towel dried it. And then I pinned it to some blocking mats using some T-pins. And that really helped bring out the eyelets. And also it opened up that reverse single crochet really well. Yeah, it turned out wonderfully. Blocking did wonders. In fact, pre-blocking, this was 16 inches in diameter, but after blocking, it was 17 inches in diameter. So I picked up an inch after blocking, and also it's so drapey and wonderful. I love it. Also, the lace portion is not only written, but it is also charted as well. So love that. It's really helpful. And let's see what else. I just think that it would make a great scrap busting project if you've got some scrap yarn laying around. Looks like I only used 69 grams, so it's not a whole lot. So it's absolutely beautiful, and it really complements my pothos plant. Let me know if you have made or want to make any of these projects. I would really love to know. Let me know which ones you would be interested in making and what yarn you would use and all of that fun stuff. And let me know what you worked on while watching, or did you just chill? Nothing wrong with that. Thank you all so much for clicking that notification bell and that like button, and for subscribing. I'm almost to 11,000 subscribers, y'all. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for your support. If you would like bonus videos, go ahead and click that join button below. In fact, I will put the membership link as a pinned comment down in the comments, because I've heard that some people on mobile devices have a hard time finding the join button. So I'll just leave it linked down below. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bye.